Hi, my name is Sharon Hughes. In my younger years, I was a teacher of 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th graders, and I substituted. And I always liked to read a good book to my class after lunch. At Christmas time, The Littlest Angel was my favorite. The story was written because Charlie Tazewell was a script writer for the Screenwriters Guild, and they wanted him to write a story quickly because they had a program that they thought was going to flop. It didn't flop, but he wrote this tale, and today they have 5 million copies of this book have been sold. It's very popular. Helen Hayes read it on Manhattan Radio one year, and they made it into a movie a couple of times. The Hallmark Hall of Fame played it once, and one time that some other people did it, and Coronet Publishing, who published the book of The Little Angel, showed it. So I thought maybe you would like to hear how it went and hear my interpretation of what the book is about. The Littlest Angel is a story about a little boy who went to heaven at the age of 4.5. And he was not happy in heaven, not at all happy, because there was nothing for him to do. When he first came, he stood before the angel, who was the gatekeeper, and he was crying and snuffling, and the gatekeeper actually smudged his name. The next thing that happened after that was he tried to be participating in what was going on in heaven. He tried to sing, and that didn't work very well because he always was singing off key, he was late, and his halo slipped. Then he decided that maybe he would just try to do some other things because they didn't like him too much in the choir. But he tried to use his wings, and he couldn't get them to work because once he got up the courage to jump off a cloud, he forgot to move his wings and he fell. So the understanding angel asked him to come visit in his office, and he was a little frightened about it, but he thought, well, I have to go, I have to see what he wants. He walked into the office of the understanding angel, and he tried to tell the understanding angel that he wasn't really a bad guy, or that he really hadn't done too many things that were bad. And the angel said, well, what is wrong? Why don't you like it here? And he said, well, there's nothing to do. I just don't have anything to do here, and I'm bored. And so the understanding angel asked him what would make him happy. And he told him that it would make him very happy if he could get a box that he had at home under his bed. And so immediately the understanding angel sent off a messenger to go get it and bring it back to the little boy. And the little boy was changed after that. Nobody even knew he was around. On the day of Jesus' birth, all the angels got together with their gifts, and the littlest angel brought his box from home. They all were there looking at what people gave to Jesus, and he suddenly saw that his little box was not very good looking compared to the other angels, and he felt very upset that he had not given anything good. In the box he had the butterfly and a robin egg and 3 stones and a collar from a beloved pup that he had. But that wasn't good enough for Jesus, and he started crying, and he fell down the hill. And suddenly the Lord said to him, of all the gifts of all the angels, I find that this small box pleases me most. Its contents are of the earth and of men, and my son is born to be king of both. These are the things my son too will know and love and cherish, and then regretfully will leave behind him when his task is done. I accept this gift in the name of the child Jesus, born of Mary this night in Bethlehem." There was a breathless pause, and then the rough, unsightly box of the littlest angel began to glow with a bright, unearthly light. Then the light became a lustrous flame, and the flame became a radiant brilliance that blinded the eyes of all the angels. None but the littlest angel saw it rise from its place before the throne of God, and he, and only he, watched it arch away from heaven and shed its clear, white, beckoning light over a stable where a child was born. There it shone the night of miracles, and its light was reflected down the centuries deep in the heart of all mankind. Yet earthly eyes blinded too by its splendor could never know that the lowly gift of the littlest angel was what all men would call forever the shining star of Bethlehem. This is a myth, I'm sure you know, and yet the scientists have espoused various things, and they haven't been able to really prove any of their explanations. They say it couldn't have been a meteor because a meteor would not have lasted that long. And it couldn't have been a supernova because if it were a supernova, other cultures would have written about it. The only thing that they can say maybe it might have been was a conjunction. Saturn and Jupiter in 1970 came together. That's a conjunction. I guess like and makes it a conjunction. That's why they call it that. But anyway, they came together in 1970 and the star was very bright. And so some think that that might have been what happened at the time of Christ's birth. But why don't we just like this myth? It's as good as any that this is what happened and that God wanted to have things of the earth and didn't like the opulence of heaven as much as he did the fine things that he made in his creation.